Target has been in the digital space in terms of, well, targeting, for another word, your guests and trying to better interact with them and anticipate their needs and everything. What have you learned, just strictly on the digital side before we get into TV, what have you learned about the value of the data that you've been using?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say that we've found that the data alone is not enough. So data is something that we can glean insights from, we can learn from, we can measure against, and it's something to execute against as well. However, what we find is that as we're creating more targeted segments of guests that we can deliver messages to, each of those groups have different needs and things that they want to hear about or are relevant to them. So it creates a greater content need there. The more we understand our guests and the experiences they're having and when they're going to be interacting with Target through the digital space, the more needs that it is actually creating. So that's something that we're actively trying to address right now, the ability to become more nimble and agile to be able to do that.
So we all talk about the customer journey, how important it is and all. What have you learned about the need for content and variations of content?
Yeah, we are, I think the more that you can be aware of the context in which someone is going to be receiving your message, the more likely you are to add value to their experience. So if someone is on the go and they're actually comparison shopping and they're in the store and they're on their mobile device, it's really important that that is not necessarily the place where maybe we want to be talking about storytelling, but help them to get to the answer that they're looking for as quickly as possible. So context really matters. So that is the thing that we really try and pay attention to in the guest journey. If you are seeking out information, how do we make sure that we're paying that off for you? And so we apply data to that, trying to understand where the guest it may be, either in the purchase funnel, but also just in their journey, whether it's in the store or out, to be able to deliver a more impactful message for them.
So we can assume you do a lot of creative versioning?
Yeah, and that's something that we are actively working to get even better at. Dynamic creative certainly helps our ability to go and do that, but we're working actively with our agencies, both our internal agency, Target Creative Studios, and also some of the world-class creative agencies we work with externally to make sure that we're delivering on those content needs. But it feels like the content needs are getting greater as the years go on.
So recently in the news, this partnership that you're doing with NBCU on the programmatic side, what do you find exciting about that?
Yeah, so the partnership that we have with NBCU expands even greater than just the programmatic side, but it is, we find them to be an amazing strategic partner, and some of the things we're most excited about there, well, there's a couple of things. Number one is their commitment to figuring out the advanced TV and targeted TV space, their commitment to going and securing a large portion of their premium inventory for brands to go in and start to play there at a national level. Their relationships that we've been building with them have been great. They are really actively trying to figure out how to partner with people to figure out the solution as opposed to just selling it. So it's been a really good collaborative partnership with them, and we're excited the learnings we're going to get with the programmatic testing that we're going to be doing with them.
So is that up and running now?
Yeah, so we're going to be in market in fourth quarter, testing out in that space, and hoping to get a lot of learnings, operational learnings, learnings around messaging, and also which is driving greatest performance against for our business.
So Target also sells online, correct?
Yes, we do.
So how are you, we read about retailers all the time, brick and mortar, and the fight, the struggle and everything. How have you balanced or managed to balance the two, your brick and mortar operations and your online?
Yeah, well, I think we find that we need to be there wherever the guest is shopping. So, and the guest is the one that's choosing. So we need to be prepared, whether they're coming in through Target.com, whether they're coming in through the Target mobile app, or whether they're coming in through the store. We're trying to make sure that we are serving up the best products for them at a value, because that's the beauty of Target. It's it's the curated products that we're able to deliver, but at an affordable price. And so whether it's in digital or whether it's in brick and mortar, we're just trying to add more value to the experience and make it an easier thing to be able to find those products that they're looking for.
So you don't think brick and mortar is going away anytime soon?
I think that the landscape is certainly changing, but we've invested in that store experience and continue to, as well as in our technology and in our .com business. And so we believe that they are actually integral to each other and build off of each other. So as guests are actually shopping in the online space and doing research, there's still something magical about going into the store and being able to touch and feel the product. So we think that the landscape is changing, the mix is changing, but that they need to be able to work together and play off of each other so that there's a holistic target experience that pays off our promise.